How many times have you heard that it's too late to invest in Bitcoin? Bitcoin was at 10K, people said too much, it went from cents to 10K, this is the end. Then Bitcoin went to 20K, same thing, 50K, 60K, now it's at 100K. And people will keep saying the same thing and Bitcoin will be worth millions. So is it too late to invest in crypto? Absolutely not. We are just starting. You are early, and if you do things correctly, you'll be ahead of 99% of investors. The same thing happened in every single bull market we had. So in 2017, Bitcoin, massive move. People said, no, this is too late. This is the last time Bitcoin moves like this. Now Bitcoin is going from 10K to zero, things like this. Then in 2020, Bitcoin, big move from 10K to 69K. People said 69K is the top. After this, Bitcoin will just keep going down. If you made it, you made it. If not, you don't have any chance. Now, 2025, Bitcoin is at 110K and people are saying, too late, Bitcoin is already at 100K, you shouldn't invest. The thing is, Bitcoin will keep going higher every single year. Or even if in 1 year is down, the other year will double. If you understand how Bitcoin works, you can see that lots of money will start to flow into Bitcoin. You have 100 trillion worth of money that is sitting idle. No one is investing, and it will go from baby boomers to our generation. So you're gonna have 100 trillion going to digital assets. What's the best digital asset? Bitcoin. People from our generation and younger will want digital money. They don't want paper money. It's devaluing at 7-10% a year because of inflation. That's why Bitcoin is just starting. You still have 100 trillion worth of money that will come to Bitcoin. So in the next 5-10 years, easily we could see Bitcoin worth $1 million or even more. So are you late? Absolutely not. We are looking at an asset that will do 10 to 20x in the next 10 years. And if you look at crypto overall, you have some altcoins like Taobi, Tensor, Solana, Sui that probably do 50 to 100x in the next 10 years. When you look at the adoption curve, Bitcoin and crypto in general is growing at a faster pace than the internet in '98. According to global estimates, only 5% of the world actually knows about Bitcoin. So when you look at the scale, we are still very early. So if with 5% of people, Bitcoin is worth 2 trillion, just imagine the another 60-70% of people starting buying Bitcoin, plus you have 100 trillion going to a new generation which likes digital money, digital assets. You could see Bitcoin being the most valuable asset in the world, especially when you compare to gold that has a $20 trillion market cap. If you want to transfer gold across a country, you need millions. It's difficult to have it on your house. You need a big warehouse if you want to have millions of dollars worth of gold. With Bitcoin, you could have $1 billion in your pocket in something smaller than a cell phone. So yes, Bitcoin will surpass gold, has better characteristics than gold, faster, cheaper, and you can transfer across the world in minutes. So yes, if gold is at this price, at this market cap, definitely see Bitcoin surpassing it in the next 5 to 10 years. When you look at Bitcoin, you have the ETFs, which actually makes Bitcoin far easier to invest. When you look at BlackRock that has $1 trillion under management, they just starting investing in Bitcoin in the last year. So if you look at pension funds, when you look at institutions, they are still very underexposed to Bitcoin. So when these big institutions put even 1-2%, we are speaking about $1 trillion going to Bitcoin. So when you look at the scale, we have so much liquidity to flow to Bitcoin that yes, you are still very early. If you look at someone like Michael Saylor, which is the biggest investor of Bitcoin, his presentation showed Bitcoin worth 13 million, one coin worth 13 million in a conservative case in the next 20 years. Conservative, because if he's actually bullish, we could be looking at even higher than 13 million. So you have smart people, you have institutions, and you have 100 trillion going from baby boomers to millennials and Gen Z. When you really think about the newer generation, it's all digital. No one of us will be going to invest in bonds or even real estate. People will be much more inclined to invest in digital assets. That's why I think Bitcoin and crypto in general, artificial intelligence as well, will be the biggest industries in the world, because everything will be digital, will not have as many physical things. So just imagine 100 trillion worth of assets going to millennials and Gen Z. You could expect by 2045 Bitcoin to be worth 13 million. Crypto gives you the opportunity of becoming your own bank instead of giving your money away to banks where inflation runs at the 7-10% a year. In 5 years, you have less 50% of purchasing power. Instead of that, you could put your money into Bitcoin, which grows at an average of 60 to 100% a year. And then in 5 years, instead of having less 50% money, you actually have 500%, 300% more wealth. Another really important thing that is emerging in crypto is artificial intelligence. So artificial intelligence is the best technology I ever seen, more disruptive than the internet. When you combine the decentralization, the security, the transparency of crypto with AI, then you have the two biggest technologies together. So that's why my biggest conviction is Tau Tensor. It's the perfect intersection between crypto and AI. These new narratives can definitely make you a millionaire. You are very, very early. For me, you have the same opportunity with Tau that you had with Bitcoin in 2012. Another very important thing to mention is even if you have this kind of growth, you can expect 50, 70, 80% correction. Is how very liquid markets work. So even if, your money, if you look at 5 years, is growing, you're going to have years where you're going to have a bear market, a period of decline, where maybe Bitcoin, altcoins crash 70, 80%. Don't be afraid, just have more money in the side so you can buy the dips. So that's the trick to make money with crypto. Don't be afraid of the volatility. Volatility is a feature, not a bug. Why? Because it means you can sell at any time, any day. That's why it's so volatile, because it's open 24/7 every single day. That's why you have this kind of big dips, big pumps. It's normal. If you look on the higher time frame, you'll be fine. So how do you make the most of investing in crypto? You select the best narratives: Bitcoin, digital gold, AI, Tau, layer ones, Sui, Solana. You have the three biggest narratives that will be here no matter what. As a bonus tip, you could add real world assets. You have some good ones, could be Chainlink, could be Ondo, but I would focus in Bitcoin, AI, Tau. I think is only legit AI project. And layer ones, you have good ones, but I think Solana and Sui are the ones that are best positioned. When you compare Bitcoin with other industries, clearly Bitcoin is the best one. Compare with real estate. In order for you to make money in real estate, you have to have already some initials. And even if you are a really good real estate investor, you can make max 20, 30% a year in the best case scenario. When you look at Bitcoin, that's 50 to 100% a year. It's liquid. You can sell at any time. If you have real estate, you want to sell it, it's not that easy. You have far more taxation. You can't take your building and take it with you. While with Bitcoin, you can take $1 billion asset from Tokyo to Madrid. Very easy. So not only is better than real estate, when you look at the stock market, 7, 10, 15% a year barely beats the cost of inflation. So again, also outperforms the stock market. When you look at any other investment, Bitcoin is the best one you can have. So this is my plan to make millions in the next 5 to 10 years. So Bitcoin should be there. I think the next big thing, not the next, is already the big thing, artificial intelligence. That's why I'm positioning Tau as my number one bet. Yes, as Maurice and Bitcoin is younger, but when you look at the upside, also has far more upside than Bitcoin. So Bitcoin should be there, digital gold. Second should be Tau Tensor, decentralized AI platform where you can build anything you want, you can solve any problem you think about, has 100 subnets. It's by far the most incredible project I've researched. Then you have Solana and Sui. Layer ones, you need something cheap and fast. Bitcoin is really good as a store of value. But when you want to use Bitcoin for transactions, it's too slow. That's why you have Solana and Sui that can handle 1,000 transactions per second, can compete with Visa, also has smart contracts where you can build applications on top. So with these four assets, the next 5-10 years, I think you can and you will make millions. So did you miss the boat? It's too late to buy crypto? Absolutely not. We are just starting. 5% of the population knows Bitcoin. So you have all major currencies around the world devaluing at a 10 to 50% average. So If you have your money on the banks, definitely you are losing a lot of money. So when people start to understand this, you're gonna see a flood of money coming into crypto, because just imagine the difference of losing 10% a year when you can make 50 to 100% a year in a high liquid asset that you can sell anytime, like Bitcoin. If you wanna know more, if you wanna be ahead of the game, make sure you join my VIP subscriptions. If you are an investor that has 6, 7, 8 figures, DM me on Instagram and I will help you making a lot of money. I'm working with a couple high quality investors, all multimillionaires. My goal is building a $1 billion hedge fund with really smart, really big investors, and all of us together can make life-changing wealth.